Hi everybody, my name is Christina and this is the third episode of the Sheepishly Knitting podcast. The last podcast I filmed it over 2 months ago. I'm quite out of the flow with filming, so I actually realized I'm getting a little bit nervous. But I think I will manage. So yeah, because I filmed over 2 months ago, I do have quite a bit of finished objects, so it probably will be a more lengthy episode. So I hope you will enjoy that. So yeah, I will start with finished objects, but I'm venturing out a little bit of only knitting. So the first finished object is actually a a sewing thrift flip. Um, yeah, so I will show you a before and after, but I bought this very oversized top t-shirt, however you want to call it, at the thrift shop, like in the beginning of the year. And yeah, I really liked the neckline because it was like with the frills and bows and everything, but it was still kind of special. But it was just way too big on me, so the sleeves finished like below my elbows. I hate when like loose fitting sleeves finish below my elbows. They have to be either full length or like t-shirt length. Otherwise, it kind of makes me look very disproportionate, I guess, or just a lot rounder than I am. And yeah, it was also way too long. So what I did is I just cropped the length, but maybe you will be able to tell when I'm turning around. You can see that I didn't do the best job because it was like a tiny bit of a curved hem, and I think it was like a viscose blend fabric. So I tried my best to make like the neatest edge, but what happened is that I made it too neat and too stiff, and it kind of puckers outwards a little bit. But I think it's not too bad because I will do a French tuck either way with this kind of top. And yeah, my mom offered me to maybe correct it one day, but it's a very lightweight fabric, so yeah, I kind of finished it a little too late because I will only wear it in summer, so it isn't like in a big rush. And the other thing that I did is I shortened the sleeves quite a bit and also inserted some elastic because I thought with this kind of like silhouette and everything with the colors, kind of a little balloony but like very lightweight fabric sleeve would look very nice. So yeah, that's what I did, and I think it turned out very wearable. And yeah, I think it's cute. So that's for my sewing finished object, if you will. So this was my sewing finished object, and I totally forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. So let's jump into it and jump into the knitting finished objects. What I'm wearing is the Sleeve Vibes by Sachiko Bergen, I think, something like that. And the original pattern has really tight fitting sleeves, but I wanted a bolero kind of style with like looser fitting sleeves, kind of like the crochet boleros you tend to see. But I never crocheted before, so I wanted to do a knit version. And yeah, I'm sorry if you can hear that. My parents live downstairs and they currently vacuuming, but I think it's not too bad. I hope so. So yeah, I knit this in one strand of drops brushed alpaca silk in the darker gray color. I think they have two gray colors, and this is the darker one. And yeah, the modifications that I did, as I said, I did looser fitting sleeves because I didn't know how to shape sleeves correctly when I did this. I started this a long time ago, but it took me like 6 months to finish this. I talk about it more, I think, in the first or second episode. I think in the first one. And yeah, what I did, I just did basic straight sleeves. So this is just a straight sleeve. And another thing that I did is I lengthened I finished all the short rows for the front. This front is shaped with short rows, with wrap and turn short rows. And after finishing those, and I already finished it once, I realized it was a little too short because you could like the sleeve finished like right here when I lifted my arms, and I wanted a little more coverage. Um, yeah, so what I did is I just unraveled the ribbing and added a few, like 2 or 3 centimeters of stockinette after resuming the short rows. Sorry, I have fiber on my eye. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this with like the normal if you use different yarn, because I do think the double stitches from the short rows would be very visible. But because this is such like fluffy fabric, I don't think you can tell at all. And this was like a really experimental project. I think this took either 2.5 or 3.5 balls of drops brushed alpaca silk, and drops, as you know, is very inexpensive. So yeah, but I'm quite happy how it turned out. Um, it is kind of hard for me to style still, because this is like my first bolero kind of top. I tend to style it with this top all the time, but I want to experiment a little more how to style it. So the first finished object I want to talk about, I don't have it with me anymore because it was a gift knit. I will insert pictures. Also, it was a gift knit for my sister, so I will ask her if it's fine, but I will maybe put a picture up of her wearing it. And yeah, I knit the Charlie pullover by Morka Knit for my sister, and I knit it in a like Merino Angora mix together with a single strand of mohair, which were all from the Hamburger Wollfabrik. Because I don't have it with me, I don't want to talk too much about it. So I also talk about this pattern quite a bit in the first 2 episodes, so you can check those out. But yeah, I can say the pattern was very, very clear, but at the same time, it wasn't the easiest to follow because there were a lot of things that weren't self-explanatory. And I think Kate is the name of the designer. I think she does a really good job in telling you what you're doing currently, but yeah, it was still kind of really complicated for me. But at the same time, it was like one of my first more intriguing knits. So I think I did learn quite a bit. But other than that, I think even as a beginner you can do it, but it will be quite challenging. But she does have a lot of videos in her pattern linked to show you how it's done. So I think her pattern writing style is very nice. Maybe a little lengthy sometimes, but I do really enjoy it. The only 2 things I will note, one positive, one a little like, yeah, the only 2 things I will mention, I pretty much followed the pattern exactly. The only thing I did is I shortened the rib by about 2 centimeters, both on the sleeves and on the hem. One thing about the pattern though is I did have trouble with the pickup rate. She gives you a pickup rate, I think, both for like the double knitting and also for the sleeves. I've had problems with both. I've tried to follow the pickup rate, but I couldn't get the amount of stitches that she recommended. So what I did is I just like did my own pickup ratio and tried to get into the recommended stitch amount. So yeah, I think it turned out fine. Maybe I could have done a little more pickup around like the polo collar, because it does like kind of, how do you call it? It does tight, is a little bit tight maybe. It does kind of pull it together. I don't know how to tell it, how to call it right now. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's the only thing that I would have changed maybe, but yeah, I did have quite a few problems with the pickup ratio that she recommends. But the other positive thing I have to note is I finally managed to do the Italian sewn bind off properly. I've tried it a couple of times already and followed like different tutorials on YouTube, but for the life of me, I couldn't get like, I don't know if it was the tension or what it was, but I always tried to do this like Kitchener stitch method where you leave the stitches on the needle. But she has a very clear video of the Italian bind off in her pattern, and this is the one you just when you sew the knit when you sew the stitch, you drop it immediately, so you pick it back up later. And I don't know what it was, but it like a light bulb just switched on in my brain. It worked from the very start, and it looks so clean. So I'm very happy about that. That's very clear tutorial. I'm very thankful for that. So yeah, this was the Charlie Pullover by Morikanet for my sister. I think I will do my finished objects in chronological order. So the next finished object that I have to show, you all should be familiar with it. It's the Rybka pouch. I'm sorry, I don't know the designer's name. But it's by a Polish designer, and it's just like a fish pouch. You knit it flat and then seam it together with crochet. And I was quite a bit of a knitting slump over the 2 months. Not the whole time, but like twice or so. So I really wanted just a really small project to do. So I kind of started this. And as you can see, I didn't even do the I-cord. I just braided a couple of strands together because I really didn't want to do I-cord. I just wanted a quick serotonin release. So yeah, this one, I knit this in scraps from my mom's stash. So this is a random self-striping sock yarn that I think it's like Alize or Alize, something like that. I think it's a Turkish brand. She got it in Russia. And I paired it together with drops brushed alpaca silk again, and like the dark pink color, I don't remember. I will try to put it in the description box, but I'm not sure if I will be able to find the scrap yarn for the sock base. And yeah, I think it's very cute. I would love to keep it, but I will knit myself another one because I wanted this one to fit my like Bluetooth in ear. How do you call it in English? Earphones? No. Yeah. Like for my Bluetooth earphones? Is it the correct English word? I can't remember. Anyways, but they don't fit because they are quite long. So I will knit myself another one. Also, my boyfriend already asked for one, so I will knit him another one as well because his earphones don't fit as well. So yeah, I think I will just give this to a friend or something. Then I will tell you later with my whips, but I'm working on a very lengthy whip right now, so I really needed quite a bit of quick releases. So the other thing that I did is my boyfriend bought this tiny little cast iron pan in Denmark when we were in Denmark, and as you can see, it's all metal, so the handle gets very hot as well. I just dropped it. So after the first use, we realized that this handle gets quite hot as well. So I just whipped out a little safety handle. I don't know how to call it. It's basically a swatch that I crocheted together on two edges. I will put this aside. So yeah, I just looked at the like sturdiest wool that I had, and this is Drops Karisma in the color dark olive, and I held it double. So I knit this strawberry hat for my boyfriend's or like my niece for my niece for Christmas, and I had quite a bit of this color left over, and it does feel quite sturdy. So yeah, I just decided to do it with this, and I just basically knit a swatch to size, kind of estimated how much stitches I would need, and I did it like spot on the first time. This was so satisfying. And yeah, and then I left a very long tail after binding off and just used this tail to crochet like these two edges shut. And as I said, I think it's a perfect fit because I wouldn't recommend leaving this on for the whole time because it does get quite hot, and I'm kind of worried that this will become a fire hazard. So what I did, so what I'm very happy about with this is it does slide on and off very, very easily. So this is more of a like, go grab the pan and do what you need to do, because otherwise you would have needed like a kitchen towel, and they are very like big, and for such a small pan it's quite unhandy to use like such a big towel to take this off. So yeah, this is perfect for this, I guess. And I'm kind of inspired to do way more like useful home stuff in the future. So these were my two tiny finished objects. Now I have two bigger, not really, one bigger. No, so these were my two tiny finished objects. I do have two more, and maybe you will realize no finished object is for me this time around. But yeah. So the next finished object is a gift knit for my mother, because it will be her 60th birthday next week, and I'm very happy that I finished it with quite some like time left over. But ta-da! I will put like a try on video of this, because I don't think you will can see everything here. But this is the Hackett jacket by Rillerud. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm very sorry. I think she's a Norwegian or Finnish. I think Norwegian designer, but don't quote me on that. And she has these like two patterns, the Hackett jacket and the Hackett sweater, which it's just like a basic raglan, a pattern for a basic raglan for like bulky weight, I think. And she has like so many like hacks you can do with it. Like she tells you how to work with different gauges, or yeah, you can do braids or a round neck or V-neck, or like a curved edge or a straight edge, with buttons, without buttons, balloon sleeves, straight sleeves. She gives you a lot of like hacks you can do. So this one in particular is the hack where she does like the I-cord edges instead of like basic ribbing. And I thought this looked very, very classy, and I could imagine my mom wearing this a lot. So that's why I chose it. And for this particular one, I used Drops Lima. I do have it with me here. Yeah, I used Drops Lima in the color 9030, so 9030. I think it's like dark ivy, and held together with Isage, I don't know how to pronounce it, silk mohair in the color 56. So as you can tell, they don't match perfectly the shade of green. This is a much warmer green than this. But yeah, I figured my mom kind of likes the green that's right in between this, so I kind of hoped that these would go together, and I think they did. So yeah. I knit size 3 and I bought 10 balls of the Lima and 5 balls of the silk mohair. These are like both about half of a skein left, but I do have quite a bit of skeins because I had to unravel a whole sleeve. And when I did this, the yarn tangled so bad that I couldn't really untangle it, and I really wasn't in a mood, so I just cut it off. So maybe, don't quote me on that, but maybe I would be able to get this cardigan size number 3 out of 9 skeins and 4, but I'm not sure. So yes, this one I cast on and finished in the 2 months that I didn't film. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I do love the fabric. It does feel very nice, but I realized I think I won't be able to bear mohair because this is such a soft mohair, and when I try it on, even over like a thin long sleeve t-shirt, it's just so prickly for me. So yeah, I don't think I'm a mohair girly. But yeah, I did the I-cord edges. The only thing I'm not sure about is maybe you can tell me. I'm not sure if I picked up a little too many stitches for the I-cord because it does kind of still curl inwards, and this is already blocked, so it does curl and is kind of wavy sometimes. Another thing that I did, pretty sure I sewed on the buttons too tightly. So when you button it all up, you maybe will be able to tell. It is quite tight here, and it does start to do like waves, but my mom is way more experienced with stuff like this, so my plan is to just gift it to her and then ask for her advice, and if there needs to be something changed, I will change it, of course. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this pattern. It flew off the needles because my whip that I will show later isn't around 3.5 millimeter needles. So this one on 5 millimeter needles was like it flew off the needles. It was so quick. Also, I almost finished it. I only had to do like, that's a lie. I had to do a lot actually still. But we went to Denmark with friends for like a vacation, and it was like more of a cozy vacation. So I knew I would have time to knit there. And this was more or less the only project I took with me. So yeah, I basically finished half of the cardigan there. And the other thing is I bought the buttons in Denmark. I don't know if you can see them, but these are horn buttons, like real horn buttons. And I know my mom loves horn, so I thought for a special birthday I would buy special buttons and special mohair. So this is by far my most expensive knit because I do budget my yarn. I do buy mostly budget yarn. So this was quite a splurge, but it does feel like a splurge. It feels very nice. I will give this to her next week. So maybe in my next episode I will be able to, maybe in the next episode I will be able to put a clip in of her wearing it. Not sure, I will ask her. But yeah, here's a clip of me wearing it. The only thing is this is like 1 or 2 sizes too small for me. So my mom is a little smaller, also a little shorter than me, so it should fit her very nicely. So my last knitting related finished object is still damp, or are still damp, because I just finished them yesterday and they are on this these DIY sock blockers my mom made. I think they're so funny. But yeah, these are socks for my dad for Christmas. I kind of knit something for everyone in my closer family, and I was worried that he would be kind of sad not receiving anything. So, yeah, I really wanted to knit him something as well for Christmas, and I decided to knit him socks. These are DK weight socks, so these are 6-ply sock yarn. This is the Regia Tweed. I think it's Regia Tweed, just the 6-ply version. Yeah, so all the socks before this were fingering weight and they were all cotton, so I really didn't know how many like stitches to cast on or anything, so I just looked up a free pattern for socks, and I think they are called the basic ribbed socks. I'm not quite sure, but I will put the pattern here, of course. So I'm very happy how these turned out. The only thing I would change is I would maybe lengthen these a little bit. I just wasn't sure how much yarn I would have, because I bought this yarn on at a flea market, and I knew like DK weight socks use more yarn, so I only had like 250-gram balls, and this is about what I have left of each ball. So I could have lengthened them a little bit, but I wanted to be on the safe side, so they turned out quite short. But yeah, I do really like them, and I think we will invest in normal sock blockers soon. So I will put them back to dry. So that were all my finished all my finished knitting objects. I have one more finished object, which will also venture into the works in progress, because I started trying out embroidery, and yeah, this is my finished object, if you want to say so. Actually, it's not a finished object, it's just a finished like motif. I have this old Uniqlo t-shirt, which I really loved, but it's so old that like you can feel the fabric got a lot thinner. This used to be like pretty structured. So I kind of banned it to be like my house t-shirt. And yeah, I wanted to try embroidery, and I love like the way of the look of collage embroidery. I don't know how you call it actually, but just like a garment with all over embroidery. And I bought these like stickers with like just like this embroidery stickers. You put it on, the motif is drawn out, and you can use it as a guide. And I used this for this flower, and they are water soluble, and yeah, I didn't really. So this is very stiff because I didn't do it. Didn't submerge it in water yet. I just spritzed a little bit to get rid of like the sticker, but yeah. But you can see it's my first project because the back looks like that. And for the work in progress, because I told you I wanted this whole t-shirt to be like embroidered, I started my second one, but I haven't worked on it for a long time. So these stickers is what I'm talking about. This just like, I think they were like 12 or so stickers that you put on. They kind of stick very well, and you can use it as a guide to embroider, and then when you wash it, it just dissolves and you're left with the embroidered thing. So everything I bought for this is from Zostrene Grene, because I just wanted to try it out, but I think it's quite fun. So yeah, so I started with my whips already. I think normally I follow the like classic podcast, like finished objects, works in progress, acquisitions. I think today, because it was like 2 months that I didn't film, it will be a little more scattered, but I do have three works in progress. I will start with the oldest one. These are, like, you can call them self-drafted socks that I started a few months ago, and I almost abandoned those because these are 100% cotton socks on 2.25 millimeter needles, and I hate knitting it. Actually, it's not too bad if you don't knit on them too long. So I really wasn't motivated to knit on those for a long time. But after finishing the socks yesterday for my dad, I didn't have like a very portable project for like my train ride, so I picked those back up. And for the train ride, it was actually quite enjoyable. But I do think these will take me quite some time to finish. But yeah, I don't remember where I showed you last time. I think the one time I showed you, I was still working on the like leg of the socks. But yeah, I knit all of my socks two at a time on Magic Loop. It's just the most comfortable for me, and I like that I don't have to cast on a second one. I just get two socks finished at the same time. It does take longer. It does take a little bit of yarn management because you knit from two skeins at the same time, and they do twist sometimes. But especially with Magic Loop, if you're like careful to, when I'm knitting at home, I like to put one skein on the right side and one skein on the left side of me, and then I will turn my Magic Loop the same way around that I used to, so they don't tangle too much. But when I'm on the train or something, I don't look at it too much. So yeah, the ruffle is, I just used like this free tutorial, this free pattern of. So basically, I really wanted white ruffle socks, and I wanted them to be a little more wearable also towards the summer. I won't be able to wear this in the heat of summer, but I didn't want this to be pure winter socks because my feet do run quite warm. So I don't wear wool socks outside a lot. So yeah, I wanted to do this in cotton. But at the same time, I hate knitting it. So yeah. I don't think I will do a lot more fingering cotton socks because all the socks I knit until now were fingering weight cotton socks, and I don't enjoy it. I very much enjoyed the DK weight woolen socks. So these are 3x1 broken rib stitch socks. Also, I did the slip stitch heel. This is a heel flap and gusset. I did the slip stitch heel, but with the alternating slip stitches, so it does create this very like interesting, pretty kind of heel. Because I thought this was more fitting for these like very cutesy socks than like the basic slip stitch heel. And the ruffle is I really wanted to ruffle, but I didn't know how to do it, and I wanted a very specific ruffle, not like a too big one. So I looked up free ruffle socks on Ravelry, and I found these Uptown Girl socks. And yeah, I just started the top as from the pattern, and then after this I just decreased to a stitch number that worked for me, and I don't remember how many stitches I have on here. Yeah, and I'm currently working on the gusset decreases. I don't have a lot to talk about for these, but I think they will turn out very cute. I hope they will fit. Oh yeah, one thing is my tension on cotton sock yarn, fingering cotton socks for like the short rows on the heel is always like so bad. This is always the part that kind of very disencourages me because it looks so bad compared to like these stitches. And I think I realized yesterday when I was talking to my mom, I would say I'm like a standard tightness knitter, but when I knit socks on Magic Loop, I tend to be a very tight knitter. But it's a blessing in disguise. My socks will hold up longer, I hope. So this is one work in progress. The other work in progress is my magnum opus. This is the thing I was referring to a lot of the time. This is my very first self-drafted garment on 3.5 millimeter needles. This will become a vest, an open front vest. So I actually am close to finishing it. I only have to do like one row of the ribbing, and then I will do the bind off, and then I will only have to do the button band because I did like I-cord edges for the armholes. I do have a hair here. So I won't talk too much about this because I want to do a separate like vlog about this because it was like my very first garment, and that I'm self-drafting. It does have a few fit issues, but yeah, I want to do a separate video about the process behind this. And yeah, so this is, I think you call it a European shoulder. So you just cast on for the back, and then you do rapid increases, and then you kind of shape the armholes for the back. Then I picked up stitches at the front, and picked up stitches along the increase edge, and shaped the neckline and the armholes, and then just laid straight down. One fit issue that I'm kind of noticing right now. I hope maybe like adding the button band will help with it, but I did like all the measurements with blocking and everything, of course, but I do think like this top edge, the cast on edge, is a little too wide because I wanted these shoulders to be quite fitted. I don't really like when vests sit like do have like this drop shoulder on me personally. I do love the look, I just don't like it on my body shape. And so I wanted more fitted shoulders, but what happened here is they are quite fitted, but they sit a little too wide apart. So just little things like that aren't thought through, but at the same time, I did take like a few measurements, basically none. I tried to figure out how many stitches to cast on and how much to increase for the shoulders. And the last thing I did is how much I have to increase for the body to get like the positive ease that I wanted. Everything else was like just based off pure vibes. Pure vibes and blocking and trying on. So it's no surprise that the fit isn't perfect, but yeah, I want to finish this. Look what happens when I do the button band. But actually, I'm thinking about turning this into a pattern because the only reason I did it like this is because I didn't find a pattern that I wanted to use. So maybe somebody else will be interested in something like this. But to fix those issues, I'm thinking about casting on another one of those. And oh, the yarn that I used for the first one is also from Hamburger Wollfabrik. It's in cones, and this is 100% merino wool. I can't tell you a lot about this. This is like, I think these are like 7 plies. It's Hamburger Wollfabrik is actually done for like machine knitting, but a lot of hand knitters also go there to pick out their yarn, because you can like choose yarn thicknesses and everything, and they wind it up for you. It's very nice to work with. No, it looks very, very nice in a finished garment, but because it's like unplied or it's not plied together or anything. It's just separate strands, so it's very splitty, as you can imagine. So with a texture like this, where you have like to pick up single stitches and everything, it is quite annoying. Also, I knit this on the only 3.5 millimeters that I have are like wooden needles, and it was such a slog knitting this, and I was very unmotivated for some time. But now that I switched to the ribbing part, which I'm knitting on 3 millimeters, which I have metal ones, this is like flying off the ribbing. So I think if I'm doing a second sample of this, I will definitely knit it on metal needles. And yeah, you can see, because the like yarn on the cone, it's done for machine knitting, so it's coated with a like oil type of thing. So it does it does change a lot when blocking. So maybe you can see, right? Like right here, you do have like, you can see the clear line of where this is blocked and where not. So yeah. But I'm very happy of how it's turning out in general. But as I said, I was thinking about doing a second sample with a slightly different fit. And this is basically sport weight yarn. So I was looking for sport weight yarn that I can buy commercially. And my mom is a avid sock knitter, and she loves and swears by Drops Nord. And she does have a lot of scraps left, so I asked her to use some. It's basically spot on. From the thickness, it's all basically spot on with the one I used, so I wanted to try it out, and I think this looks very, very cute. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing another sample, not right now, more like towards spring. But the only thing is, if I do another sample, I want to do it in pretty bright color. And I want to do it preferably in a like lime green, more or less. But the Drops Nord doesn't come in a lime green. And I'm quite on a tight budget right now, so I can't really afford anything other than Drops. So yeah. The only color that I can imagine or would like in a vest like this is this yellow exactly, actually. But yellow is not like, I don't think yellow is like the most versatile color for my wardrobe, because my wardrobe is very cool toned, very much like blue, pink, and green, and purple. So yellow will kind of, but at the same time, it's nice to have a different color in your wardrobe sometimes. And I think it looks very good with gray. And most of my wardrobe is gray. My basics are all pretty much gray, so I'll probably knit this in this if it works out. And I want to do a slightly different fit, so I'm very intrigued to see how this will turn out. And the last work in progress that I have doesn't look like much at all. It's just like a rectangle. This is a baby jacket, or this will become a baby jacket. My cousin, with whom I grew up with, basically, he was like my brother more or less, is having a baby in about March, and I really wanted to knit something for the baby. But yeah, and I do have like a book and a booklet of baby knits that I do have a book and a booklet of baby knits. So I really wanted to knit this jacket in the from the booklet, but the booklet is like everything in there is knit bottom up and seamed together and everything, and I realized I really don't enjoy seaming at all. So I try to avoid it if I can. So what I try to do here is kind of rework the pattern to be in the round, or not in the round, but not seamed together, be in one piece. But I still am working it bottom up because I thought it would be easier to just change one thing and not both aspects. But it takes so much brain power to kind of rework it. Also, the booklet, it's like from RICO design. I think it's Baby Merino and the second issue. And it's like this very cute jacket, but everything, like, I do have two booklets from RICO design that I was gifted, and both of them, I'm not the biggest fan of the finished objects because they look very like loosely done. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the edges aren't finished or anything. It looks a little bit messy sometimes. The stitches don't align or something like that. And I am very particular with details like that. So not only am I changing the pattern to be like in one piece, and I have a different gauge and everything. So it does take quite a bit brain power. I'm also doing like I-cord edges instead of like pure garter edges and everything. So yeah, I'm not having the most fun with this, but I think it will be very worth it to do those changes. And I mean, garter stitch is always fun, right? The other thing is I don't know how babies are shaped, or I don't know. I'm following the size 6 to 9 months, so they have a chart basically showing you the measurements of the finished like separate pieces that you seam together. And in the charts it looks like it should become like this. But I don't know, this seems so tiny. I don't know how babies are shaped, and it's so difficult. But like the measurements fit, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like a 6 to 9 months baby should fit this. Like a newborn maybe, but yeah, I'm very confused with baby knits. I think maybe I should look into a few different. But I thought this looked very cute. Yeah. This one is knit in Drops Lima. I do have a lot of Drops Lima. I have like 6 balls of this Drops Lima because I bought it for another project which I didn't end up doing because it was like on 10mm needles, and I hated knitting with 10mm needles. My hands hurt after like 2 rows. It was so painful. So yeah, I thought this was like the perfect baby color as well. It's very neutral, but at the same time, it's not like beige. So um, I thought it was a very cute color for a baby. And I have, as I said, 6 bowls left of this. So I'm thinking I will have a lot left over after this. Um, so I'm thinking if I will do like a set for the baby, maybe like socks or um, a hat, or if I will do like matching set for the whole family, like knit my cousin a hat, and for um, his soon to be wife, maybe like a Sophie shawl or a headband or something, and the jacket for the baby. And I think that would be so cute to have like matching accessories for the whole family. So yeah, one of those. But I do still have quite a few. I do have a lot of time left to finish this. So yeah, I am very rambly today. I'm very out of it. I kind of forgot how, how to do this. Sorry about that. And yeah, for the last part, I will do acquisitions and future plans. I do have a few acquisitions. I will just start with the ones I don't have any concrete plans for. So when we were in Denmark, I had to. We were on the way back home from Denmark. We stopped at Ribe. Yeah, like the city in Denmark, and they had, and I really wanted to visit at least one yarn shop in Denmark. So yeah, we went actually to both because they are very close by. But the one of them was closed. It only works like 4 hours on Tuesdays, and that's it. And it looks so cute because they sell ceramics and wool, and it's like two of my biggest interests. And I was so sad that it was closed on the day. But the other one was like this handcraft store. It had like, it wasn't the vibe of the normal yarn stores, where like the skeins are like presented very prettily. But on the other hand, you had like this huge selection of different yarns and fabric and like lace trims and buttons and everything. So it was like um, a shop for like handcrafts. So I really wanted to buy something there, but I didn't know what. And when I don't know what to buy, I always buy like sock yarn basically. And this is HJERTEGARN. Is it? I don't know if it's pronounced correctly. LongColors. So this is like an ombre kind of yarn, and it's 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon, and just like this neutral pinkish ombre yarn. And I don't know, I either will make like a hat or a scarf or something with this. But I'm kind of not sure about this yarn because it does have like a few yeah, spots where it's like kind of overplied, as you can see. So it gets like this edges in the yarn. So I don't think this will be like very pretty in a stockinette fabric, but this is just like to have fun. So I wasn't too worried about that. And at the same shop, I will crinkle a little bit. At the same shop, what I bought as well is like this one singular label. It says "Made by Tante," which is very funny because Tante is aunt in um, German, but in Danish as well, I guess. So yeah, it was kind of funny that it's the same word in German and in Danish. So I had to get it because, like, when my sister has kids, I will definitely knit them something with it. Or, yeah, when my sister has kids one day, I will definitely make something with this. But until then, it will just wait for the time it can be used. But the other thing that I bought there are these adorable buttons. I will show two of those, but I bought 5 of those. So these are like flower buttons, but they look like they were have been crocheted. So these are so adorable. My boyfriend actually spotted them because we were looking at like to get maybe like special buttons or something, and the selection was very basic mostly, but these were like so cute. And I think like for a children's cardigan, do I have to say more? Like for a girl, like having like a butter yellow cardigan and then these orange flowers, adorable. Can't wait. But I have 2 cousins getting babies, but both of them are boys, so another day. For the next acquisition, I really want to knit a pink fluffy sweater for myself, a very oversized sweater for winter. I will talk about it about the plan more in my future like winter plan video, but I actually wanted to use the sadness garn coats in the color something rose. I don't know. I saw Candid Knits, I think is her channel. She knit a sweater in the color, and I really loved the pink, and I really wanted to use this yarn, but then when I saw it in real life, I kind of it wasn't the pink that I hoped it would be, so my plans kind of shattered. And I decided that I still wanted a pink. I really wanted more of a cooler pink, I think, but I wanted a pink fluffy sweater, so I was on a hunt for pink fluffy yarn, and I came across this. This is the perfect color that I was looking for, but this is the Mayflower New Sky, and it's getting discontinued, which is very sad, but it was kind of a blessing as well. Yeah, why it was a blessing? Because it's getting discontinued on the Mayflower website. I bought the last 7 balls for 50% off. So I only have 7 balls of this. This won't be enough probably. So yeah, so I will order like 3 extra balls. I know this will be like a different dye lot, and it can be like problematic, but for this type of deal, I really don't care. I just want like a very oversized, basic sweater that I can throw onto everything when I'm cold. So I don't mind if the dye lot is like a little bit off, but I still hope like that it won't be too much difference. They do have like a New Sky Light version, which is like exactly half of the thickness of this. So I thought maybe I can hold that double and combine it with this. So I ordered that as well, but the core was like very wide. It does have a different like composition. I thought it was the same, but it differs slightly. So yeah, I don't think it will look good, so I will rather have like a different dye lot. So I sent this back and will buy additional. Why I didn't buy it on another website is because it was only like 50% off on this website. So yeah. This is the Mayflower New Sky, which is kind of funny because they had like a sky, then I think it was like they had a sky discontinued that did a new sky, and now they're discontinuing that as well. Oh yeah, and this is the color like light purple or something. 84 or something. Very cute color. And when I was ordering there, I thought I can't order just one yarn, so I also ordered this sock yarn, Sirius, also by Mayflower. And yeah, this is the color number 3. And it's like this self-striping sock yarn, but it's not very stripy. I think I prefer this type of like multicolored sock yarn, and these are very cute colors, so I bought 2 balls of this to knit myself some socks in the future. And I think this actually looks very nice paired together with this. So these were all of my acquisitions, but I do have one thing left to show you, and this is a future plan. This is a swatch that it's half unraveled. This is using Drops Lima. My boyfriend really wants me to knit him a vest, and we kind of looked. He wants a textured vest, so we looked together on Ravelry, and he decided that he wants to have the Haru vest by Summer Knits, and it's like an all-over cabled knit. So to show him how it will look more or less, I did a swatch of the pattern already, because we were deciding which yarn to buy for it, and I kind of thought Drops Lima would be perfect because it's a DK way. The pattern is a DK pattern, like fingering with mohair held together, but I can't imagine my boyfriend liking to wear mohair actually, so I thought like the slight halo from the alpaca in the Lima would kind of substitute that without being too mohairy. And yeah, I wanted to show him how it would look, because I also really like knitting with Lima, as you may be able to tell, because I bought like over 20 balls of it in the last couple, probably closer to 50 balls in the last couple of months. So yeah, this is a swatch. Actually, this is already half a size up of what is recommended, and the cables are still very, very tight, because the Lima, depending on the color, I think, because some Lima I think is like, for me at least, I feel like some Lima are like thinner than others. So this does feel quite plump, and my cables turned out very stiff. So I'll probably even go up one more needle size. But like for this baby knit, for example, I feel like this is a lot thinner. I don't know if it's like visually visible, but like when knitting with it, this is on a 4mm needle, and it's not very stiff. And this is like on a 4.5, and it's way stiffer, so yeah. And yeah, we decided on we decided that we will use the Drops Lima, and I will order some right after filming this video, and I will order the color Almond. Yeah, so very excited about that. I don't know when I will cast this on. I want to finish it when it's still cold, obviously, but at the same time I haven't knit a lot for myself lately, so I'm kind of prioritizing some knits for myself first, like the pink fluffy pullover, for example. I'm finished now, finally. if you have any questions or I didn't mention something that interests you, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I will try to compress it as much as possible, but I really want to start to film more frequently, like every 2 weeks. But yeah, that's my plan, because I think I do it quite a lot lately, so it would be like easier to follow and wouldn't take hours to talk about everything. So I hope you enjoyed. I would love for you to leave a comment on what you're knitting, or like this video if you liked it or something. Just just some feedback that you enjoyed it maybe, and I hope to see you in my next episode as well. Probably in 2 weeks. I will try. And yeah, until then, I wish you happy knitting, and bye bye.